Good night, Cayman. Good night, world. You're tuned in to Real Talk, Love and Lies, the late night space where we put love, sex, lies, and all the messy in between on the table without the fake perfection. We're your hosts, Alfred and.
Matilda, I remember this time.
And as always, our real co hosts are you, the listeners. Your stories, dilemmas, voice notes, you shape this show. And if you're new here, this is where we talk honestly about relationships and betrayal, laugh so we don't cry, and ask the questions most people only whisper about in group chats. So get comfortable, plug in your headphones, or turn the volume down low if the kids are still awake. This is Real Talk, Love and Lies, and we're just getting started. All right. So before we dive in, quick shout out to last week's episode.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about one of the heaviest choices in relationships, staying after cheating, and
Yeah.
how you rebuild trust when everybody around you saying just leave. After we came off air, we got a message from a listener asking, okay, but what about before, if it even gets to cheating? Can men and women really be just friends? And that's how tonight's topic was born. Friend zone or fantasy zone? Can we be just friends? Or is somebody always catching feelings? Quick disclaimer, we're not therapists or lawyers, and nothing on this show is professional advice. We're here for honest conversation and entertainment. Please don't take anything said tonight as a substitute for counseling, legal help, or medical care. And remember, all stories are shared respectfully, and any resemblance to real people is purely coincidental, unless it's you feeling called out. So, Tilda,
Hey.
what does just friends mean for you?
So I love this topic. This is a real good topic for a former boy. By the way, I need to put a disclaimer out about my voice. This is not what I sound like all the time. I am battling the flu, but I can't leave Alfred out there on the streets by himself on a Friday night. So can't be out in them streets by yourself, boo boo. So we're all about it tonight. But what is just friends to me? To me, just friends is when you have no listen, you can have desire and not act on it and still be just friends, in my opinion. But just friends, like in the purest sense, is like when that person is like purely platonic. You don't have fantasies about them when you're by yourself. You don't think about them in any other way other than the way that they show up for you, and they show up for you with respect and boundaries. And there's no there's no suggestion, there's no flirting. That's the way that I see just friends. How would you define it?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. No sex, no secret flirting, no pacts. Oh, if we're both single at 40, yeah, none of that. Yeah,
I would still say that friends can do the whole still single at 40 thing.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that could still happen.
Well, let me ask you this, right? Let's play a little game. Friend
Hmm.
zone or fantasy zone? How this game is gonna work is that I'm gonna give you a scenario,
Yeah.
and you're gonna tell me whether it's a healthy friendship, a situationship, or somebody gonna cry soon. Got it?
I got it.
All right. All right. So we share our live locations on WhatsApp for safety, and we both low key monitor where the other one is all day.
That's a little sus, but I think friends could do that.
So you'd rate that as what?
I say
Friend?
friend. Yeah, I say that's a friend.
Okay.
That could be a friend.
All right. Me, I kind of think a low key situationship still, you
Could be, because the thing is, right? I don't think any of my friends would do that. Straight men that are friends with me, they don't, their heads in other things. They're not worried if I get home at night because they know I can take care of myself.
Mm,
Not so much to the extent that they would follow location.
okay.
All right, that one is a little sus. Go on.
Yeah, for me, I don't know, like, you don't need a real time GPS update on someone unless they're, your parent or your partner or your
My
parole officer.
brother, my brother and I share. location, I think. How do you know how to find that? No.
Yeah, but that different, man. That different.
Yeah, that's a very different thing.
That different.
That's a
All
very
right. What about this one? They always introduce me as my wife or my husband as a joke, but then add, "We're just friends, though."
Nah, that's just friends.
That's just friends.
Yeah, because if you harbor in feelings, you don't feel comfortable to say them things.
Okay. All right. Next scenario. For my birthday, they organized a surprise party, bought me an expensive gift, and wrote a long emotional message that sounded like wedding vows. But we're just close friends.
No, I gonna be that controversial person and split this up by gender. If a man does that, you are not just friends. Somebody gonna cry. A woman does that, she could pull it off and it still be just friends.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just communication styles that are normal in our culture.
Okay. Every time I start dating someone, my friend suddenly doesn't like them, starts pointing out red flags, and goes quiet on me until we break up.
Somebody gonna cry.
I agree. Somebody gonna cry soon. Nah, friend. That's a secret HR manager. Your love life. No?
Yeah. Actually, I
Alright.
had that one happen to me before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What about this?
That there's a story there, a situationship type story, where adamant they didn't want a relationship, don't want a relationship, and the man that I was around, oh, he's soft, or oh, he an idiot, or whatever it is, right? Buenas noches, Carlos.
Buenas noches. All right. Next scenario. Let's see. We got drunk one night, kissed, then agreed to never talk about it again, and just went back to being friends. And you can read kiss for other activities as well. You can substitute kiss for other activities as well.
Not gonna happen again. That's a situationship.
That's a situationship.
Uh-huh.
Nah, yeah, I think somebody gonna cry soon with that one. That kiss
No.
didn't.
I think that's a situationship because they're both in that.
Bye. All right. Let's see. Every time one of us goes out, we text the other, "I reached home safe," no matter the time.
That's friends.
Yeah, I'd say that's friends too. It's
That's
about
friends.
safety, right?
Yeah.
Very sweet. All right.
Especially if you've been out drinking, and yeah, because so many of us, particularly who have lived past a certain age, have lost so many people on the road. That's such an important thing. Like, you want to know that people are okay.
Okay. All right. We do grocery shopping together. We go to the furniture store. We have Sunday brunch every week. But if anyone asks, we both scream, "We're just friends." So friends, situationship, or somebody going
So
cry.
hold on. Grocery store, brunch. What the other thing was?
And going out to pick furniture.
Oh no, somebody on the DL. that's just friends, and you all are batting for the same team.
Mhm. All right.
That's my opinion on that one. What do you
Okay.
think?
Bye. I don't know. I would have said that low key situationship, but boy, you just talk about something. You bring up the whole DL thing, so
Ah,
that's a whole other topic, right?
that's a GBFF.
All right. Me, that look like a free trial of a relationship with no end
No,
date.
man.
But
No. From the time you talk about furniture, no.
okay.
Groceries, I understand. I've gone grocery shopping with a friend before.
Well, I haven't. We have a question up. On our banner. Can men and women be just friends? What do you think, audience? And did it ever go left for any one of you? All right. So what do you think are the can men and women be friends, Tilda?
See, like I said, I had the whole tomboy experience, right? And so we go through these stages as tomboys where I was surrounded by boys growing up in the neighborhood, in my family, even my friendships. And there's a time when if you are particularly if you're a straight woman, you'd go through this transition where you all of a sudden in puberty realize that, we're actually not the same.
Mm.
And there's a grieving that happens, I think, at that time, where we start to like think, oh man, I wish I could have stayed. We could have all stayed the same. And then you transition and you're like, hold on, well, maybe there's an opportunity to see each other differently. But then if you get past that and you're still friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Past the teenage years and all of that, then it
Mhm.
gets weirder, because then your friends then pick up partners, and you yourself will pick up a partner. And this is the tomboy experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those partners, then you start to have to create these boundaries around these partners so that everybody's okay. And it gets really weird if there's a partner that's like, your friend really got a thing for you, or they start to get weird, but I don't want to see you around that person, or they start to get like uncomfortable about like, sorry, when they get uncomfortable about the friendships that you have had for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That, I think, now is a tough barrier to cross, and I think that's where a lot of people start to lose their friends of the opposite sex, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
So,
I think it's possible to do it. I still think it's possible to do it. Like I have really good friends that are males. Like most of my friends are men, and my very, very close friends are a couple of them are women, right? But most of them are men. And I think the older you get, though, then you start to get into things like you're couple dating, right? So they bring their partner, you bring your partner, and then you start to interact as families. And it starts to be a lot easier. The weird part is if you're the single one and you're surrounded by these friends of the opposite sex, then that starts to get a little uncomfortable. So that's, I don't know, you got to navigate all these different boundaries, but I do think it's possible. I definitely think it's possible. But for a point for the other side, there was I think it was Chris Rock that did this whole spiel in one of his early shows about if you have a person, men don't have friends that are female. They either been with them, and I'm not using his language, been with them, wants to be with them, or is with them. Right? So hearing that from a male perspective in his comedy show, and yes, it was comedy, kind of threw me off when I heard it the first time, and I sat down and I like categorized my friends. I wonder how they all see me. And I kind of like took it to them and started to realize, something, there might be something to that on the other side. So I think it's possible. I do think it's possible. I do have very, very good friends that are like purely like platonic, never crossed my mind kind of thing. And I don't think ever crossed theirs either, So it's like, I feel like there's a way to do it.
well, I mean, I guess if you make it clear that the friendships can be healthy and valuable, right? I mean, if there's certain boundaries in place, I mean, I think it's possible. What do you think are some of the benefits of cross-gender friendships?
I love to hear. Okay, so I love to hear the very practical, pragmatic approach that men take to friendships. I like to be part of that. There's less drama, I find, in male. Nah, that's not true. That's not true. They can be dramatic. Some of mine can be dramatic. But there's a different way of communicating. There's less dwelling on things and more fighting it out, getting it out the way, not carrying grudges and stuff. So that's one of the things I really like about having friends of the other sex. Another thing too is that I find that they're a good place to bounce things off. As a straight woman, I sit down and say, this is how this is going. What do you think it is? And they will give me a perspective, like, boy, bun that done for you, or
You get a bit of a perspective check.
Yeah. A real good, yeah, perspective check. But they're gonna see things that you don't see. And having grown up here and having people around for so long, like there are things that women know as collectively, and there are things that men know collectively, and especially about other people's business. So it's like the guys talk about things and the girls talk about things. And if you ever get a warning from one of your brethren that is like, boy, don't touch that, no, you won't be near. That is a really valuable warning because they're coming from somewhere. As long as they're not one of those people that just despises everybody that you get close to. Yeah, and there's something else too, right? One last thing I think too is that men don't generally fight around. They don't fight about how much time you spend with each other. Like girls break up, women break up. I haven't seen you in so long, and you don't make time for me. Man, my brothers, they don't even notice them things. So I'll go out seeing them for months sometimes, and then they just show up, and then they're there every day, and then I don't see them again for months. So there's like a casual acceptance of where you are in life too that I find in male friendships. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. I mean, you get the free relationship coaching, they can tell. I think sometimes, you can get that perspective where they can tell you when you're the problem, not your partner. I think there's, less pressure. Someone you can hang with, joke with, chill with, no romantic performance required. Yeah, and seeing just how the other gender experiences dating, their expectations. And I think also, you get to meet more people outside your usual circle, including potential partners when you have an opposite sex friend.
Oh, I never thought of that. Like meeting partners through that. That's true. It don't really work out that way usually, though, because I find that my brethren will not recommend their brethren.
Yeah.
Because we're protective of each other, right?
Well, we actually had a comment that came in, a WhatsApp comment that came in earlier this evening, and we're gonna add it to the stage. This person says, my man have one female best friend, and let me tell you, this girl clearly love him. Everybody see it except him, so he say. He always like, that's just how she stay. I start feeling real disrespected and like I crazy. Should I bring it up again or just accept say she in the background waiting on my spot? What you gotta say to that?
Well, if she there or not, she in the background waiting on your spot. Whether she around or not. You understand? So, and in fact, so it's a weird thing, right? Because there's this experience that I have observed, right? I don't think I've really had it in the same way, but when somebody don't even accept their own feelings and talk about them, and so it just stays on, that's a lurker. That's a different thing. That's not a friend. That's a lurker. If everybody can see it, trust me, he can see it. He can see it. He just enjoying the attention. So the problem that I would have is not with her. I would have the problem with him because you got to make sure that he got boundaries solid. If you trust him and you're good to go. But if he's pretending not to see it, that right there is sus for me. That right there is sus for me.
Yeah, you're not crazy. If 3 people in the dog can see it, it's probably there. So
yeah, and if he won't, if the choice is between staying in a relationship with you, and he won't put down boundaries in order to do that, then he's not worthy of you. And not to say cut her off, right? But put the boundaries down properly. Like make sure that you are comfortable. You need to be comfortable, but you also have to be reasonable because him acknowledge you also have to be reasonable because this person is a friend and there's a value to friendships. This is a person who is gonna like look out for you if things go well in your absence, potentially, right? If that's a good friend, that's somebody that would be looking out for that person's safety, etc. Friends have a value. I think friends do have a value, but if you feel like she's just waiting for him to slip, they're not safe.
Yeah, and that's the thing, to the questioner, you can't control how she feels, right? But you can look at his response, and like Tilda just said, does he set boundaries in play. I mean, it's for him to set those boundaries if and when she does cross the line, you know? I mean, another thing I see too, I've seen too with situations like this is sometimes the other person, the friend, quote unquote,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they'll take little digs at you, or they'll tell little quote unquote jokes, right? And, you know, it comes across as really disrespectful. Does he let her disrespect you, or does he brush it off? And then another thing you should probably look out for is, does he hide messages or hangouts because he knows that you'd be upset by hanging out with this friend?
Yeah, because that's a red flag right there.
Yeah.
If you're not being shady though, I don't think that you have a problem. He
Mm,
probably just dumb to these things. People
mm,
can be really blind to these things.
mm, mm, mm.
I doubt it though. Deep down they know.
Deep down, they know.
Deep down they know.
So, well, talking about that, then, I mean, with jealousy, I mean, do you think that you can have an opposite sex bestie and your main person feels a way about it, and they tell you that they feel a way about it? You know, like do
How
you
do you
think,
work it out?
yeah, how do you work it out? Because I mean, do you have, because you know, you have those friends, right, where they can call you at 1 a.m. Oh, I can't sleep, talk to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think that'd be appropriate to have?
No, because that's couple time. I had a funny enough male friend many years ago who said to me the only thing open after 10 o'clock is legs. And that was a reason for them to not be able to be on the phone past 10 o'clock because it just don't feel right. You know, at that point in time, it don't really feel right. I don't
Mm,
think that's appropriate necessarily, especially if you're in a relationship. If you're not in a relationship, you can navigate that differently. But I don't think the whole like late night conversation is a thing that is respectful. No, but you work that out with your partner. You know, you sit down with your partner, you have the conversation. Like, what is gonna make you be comfortable? Like, how if I'm gonna continue this friendship with this person, what are the boundaries that you would want me to see put down that would make you comfortable? And then if you deliver on that, then you should be fine. But you know, we also need to know how to ask for what we need. We need to know how to ask what we need. By the way, Alfredo, you on mute.
I'm sorry. Yeah, didn't want any background noise to interrupt what you were saying. Yeah, I don't know, yo.
This one tricky and true. This is more tricky than even like the going back after cheating thing, you
Yeah,
know?
because it you know, like if you had that kind of friendship, or if I had that kind of friendship in my partner or your partner, then, you know, gives you an ultimatum, right? Because they feel a way about it. I mean, have you ever been told to cut off an opposite sex friend?
Well, I was asked to please put down a boundary. And it was respectfully requested, and it was like the way that it was asked was like, you know, it was an engaging conversation. It was like, you know, I kind of feel a way about this. I would feel better if you did this. And I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, you my priority. I can do that. And this person supports our relationship, so I'm sure that they will respect that boundary. So let's set that up.
Hmm.
It was like a 3 second conversation. End of story.
Hmm.
You know?
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, we have another message. This one came in via the email loveandlies.cmrtv@gmail.com.
Oof.
This one is, my girlfriend cannot stand my female best friend. We've been friends since high school, but have no history, no kissing, nothing. My girl says no straight man is just friends with a woman. She wants me to distance myself. Am I wrong to keep the friendship, or is she being insecure? Thoughts?
You see, I don't like that line. No straight man is just friends with a woman. That tells me you have a very narrow view of the world. You don't understand how people outside of your circle operate.
Mm.
This is a very, very like common, normal thing to have friends. Like it is healthy to have friends. I actually don't want a man who does not have friends, because
Because it
that
puts a
then
lot of
is a
pressure
lot of
on
pressure
you.
on, it's a lot of pressure
Yeah.
on me as a person. It's also a lot of control that that person will probably expect me to have. Like, no, that's not healthy. But I don't, I still want to be careful with the context though, because you also have to ask, why did she say that? Is that a blanket statement about how she sees the world, or did she see something? So I would dig deeper and get clear, like, is there something you see that I don't see, or are you just saying that this is how you see the world? But if this is how she sees the world, it's time for her to educate herself, and not in a tit for tat kind of way, but interact as a group. Because this is another thing I don't find that couples do enough in Cayman, is interacting as a group, like going out with other couples, going out with other friends, going out, like having people that are part of your life as well. And it's something that I think that I am actually really good at, but I had to get good at it, because sometimes you just shut down and lock down in a relationship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You just make that person your world and everything.
But that's not healthy. And if that's what's
Yeah.
expected of you from this person, then not healthy.
Well, I mean, for me, a good rule for the questioner who sent it in. Thank you for sending in your question. Um, if you'd be uncomfortable hearing your girlfriend say the same things to a male best friend, then you already know what needs adjusting, right? What you need is transparency, and what you need is, like we said before, clear boundaries. So, late night calls, secret jokes, um, emotional dumping on the friend instead of your partner. I mean, those types of things can make any partner feel like they're on the sideline and can feed that insecurity. So, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, there are places though, like for that emotional dumping piece, because for instance, if your partner is not a part of the of the world that you're complaining about, for instance, like this is a work friend and you're talking about work, it's more appropriate to actually vent about work with somebody from work,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what it is, right? Because there's certain things you don't necessarily want to reveal to somebody outside of work. Or, like, I don't know, if you have a hobby and you're having a problem with that, you don't vent to your partner if they don't understand it. That's what friends are for. That's what friends are for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that's the place where I would say, get clear on what friendship is, man. Like, really, really explore that for yourself, and make sure that you are not closing off your life just to this one person. And my advice would for the lady here would be like, no, 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 no. Open your mind and go make yourself some friends. And probably go and see, the easiest thing too is to go out with couples. I find that other couples, when you have couple friends, that can really open you up to um so much possibility around and ease. So it's like if you're not used to being around male friends that are single or female friends that are single, that's fine. I get that at first. But over time you're gonna have to grow up and see that the world operates a little bit bigger than that. With boundaries and with limits, but also like start with couple friends and get used to that. Get used to seeing your partner interact with a woman. Is this about jealousy or is this about control? Right? Or is this just about closed-mindedness?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because jealousy is a feeling that is I think it's healthy up to a certain extent, depending on how much control you give the jealousy. Right? It's not reasonable if no one is actually acting improperly.
I agree. We have another question. This also came in via email. I've always said men and women can be just friends. Now I've caught feelings from my male best friend. He's single, I'm single, but I'm terrified to say anything in case it ruins the friendship. Do I confess or shut up and suffer?
I want you to take this one because I have a hot take.
You have a hot take?
You gotta go first.
Well,
You gotta go first.
I mean, I guess worst case, you'll need ice cream and a playlist. Best case, you'll both say finally and the group chat will explode. But I think what you've just discovered, questioner, is the fine line between platonic and please kiss me immediately. So, um, I would say ask yourself two questions. Can you realistically dial these feelings back and still be okay with just being friends? I mean, if ever hug feels like a heartbreak, probably not. And then the next question is, if this friendship did fade away, would you regret never saying anything? Now, if the answer to number two is yes, then I would advise a calm, honest talk with your friend, and I think that would be kinder than pretending. So you could say something like, I value our friendship, but I've started feeling more than that. And I'd admit to them, I admit to him, I don't want to make things weird, so I need to say it out loud and see where you're at. I mean, you're not responsible for his answer, only for being honest and respecting it. What's your hot take, Tilda?
So my hot take is this. If you don't say something, something has already changed and it's going to make it weird.
Mm.
Right? So I don't like the lurking. I am very uncomfortable with the lurking. When people lurk, and they just like hiding, giving you cow eyes over your cup of coffee, but not actually like saying the thing that needs to be
What
said.
kind of eyes?
So cow eyes.
I've never heard that expression.
Not attractive at all.
Cow eye.
I don't know. Is it puppy dog eyes? To me, I see a cow when I think of these things because it's very it's very unflattering in my opinion. Flowers. So just bear with me, right? But
cow eyes.
So this is the part that I don't like, right? When somebody is pretending to be platonic and forcing the platonicness of that relationship, it starts to have like a dissonance. You start to feel weirded out by it as the person on the other side, right? So I'm putting myself in the feeling in the shoes of the male best friend. He done know. If you just keep forcing pretending like it not so, you just look like an idiot, and then you start to be less trusted. Over time, I think it's a thing that it erodes trust when you actually don't say what you say. And I had one of those like embarrassing moments back in the day when I was like, yeah, I have a crush on you and I need some space because I need to work myself out. And it worked really well because the person I was speaking to was like, yeah, I know. I was so annoyed in the moment. They were like, oh yeah, I know. I was so annoyed about it. But then over time, I was like, that was really gracious of that person to say that. Yeah, I know. And I met someone. I'm with someone right now. I'm like, okay, well, that was the end of that. Boom. Story done. Friendship continue. And yeah, and then you work your feelings out. You just deal with the rejection up front rather than dragging it out. But
everybody's so afraid of rejection.
But I've also seen people do this even with like situationships. Like, so you really want a relationship, but then you enter into a situationship. And then you get butthurt when that person doesn't turn into a relationship. But they told you from the outset that they wasn't interested in anything more. That's a setup. It's a very similar setup, but that's like step 2.
I hear what you're saying.
So that's my hot take. My hot take is that if you don't confess or find a way to just like vent that feeling out, or take some distance and work yourself out, especially if you know that this person is not interested, you're gonna make it weird and you'll kill the friendship just by making it weird. So you're better off just saying, yo, I kind of got a little thing for you. I can work myself out, but I gotta sort it out. Or I kind of have a little thing for you, and I really don't know how you feel about that, but I just putting it out there, and we don't ever have to talk about it if you don't want to. But I just saying it so to stop making it weird, because I realize I'm making it weird. Boom.
Yeah. We have another question. I talk to my female friend about everything. My fears, my dreams, stuff I don't even tell my boyfriend because he's not very emotional. There's no flirting. No, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Am I reading this right?
Yeah, there's
I
no flirting,
talk.
no touching, but I feel closer to her than to him sometimes. Is that emotional cheating?
Wait. So hold on. I talk to my female friend about everything. So is this a man? I talk to my
No, I
female
think
friend
this.
about
I don't
everything.
know.
My fears, my dreams.
Does it matter?
I'm just trying to get the context because it says I talk to my female friend. I'm assuming that's the opposite sex friend.
No, it's a
There's
same sex friend.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I could be. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the context.
I feel closer to her than to him sometimes. Is that emotional cheating? That's a very good question. Right? Okay, so let's just read it again. In the context that this is a woman, I'm guessing. I'm guessing the person will correct us if we're wrong. They say I talk to my female friend about everything, my fears, my dreams, stuff I don't even tell my boyfriend because he's not very emotional. There's no flirting, no touching, but I feel closer to her than to him sometimes. Is that emotional cheating? That's a good question. And I think only you can answer that. Because I feel closer to her than to him sometimes is a very normal experience for a lot of people in relationships, particularly if they're new or if they're really not with somebody who is overtly expressive. Like I have very, very close female friends that I have in the past been closer to than I am to my partner.
Mm.
Now, does that say something about you and your friendship, or does that say something about your relationship having a bigger gap than you are happy about? But if there's attraction, right? If there's attraction, then I'm like, well, maybe you are emotionally cheating. I feel like there needs to be attraction for there to be infidelity. What do you think about that, Fredo? Because I don't know. I don't think it's emotional cheating. I think you'll be accused of emotional cheating by somebody who wants to shut you down. But that's not true necessarily.
I mean, well, for me, I think if it's something that you have to hide from your partner, then I think that you're kind of going into the cheating territory,
Hmm.
right? I mean, like if I mean, it could
Even
be.
if
It
there's
could
no
be sliding
attraction.
into. It could be. I mean, it depends on what you're avoiding with your boyfriend. So, like,
Ah.
you
Uh-huh.
need to ask yourself: Are you hiding the level of closeness from your partner? When something big happens, who do you message first? Do you message her? Do you message him? Do you feel guilty if he sees your chats? I mean, friendships are allowed to be deep, but
Yeah.
when a friend becomes the primary emotional partner and your actual partner is just there for, I don't know, vibes and being physical. I mean, I don't know what the nature of the relationship is. That's when the line gets blurry. So, um,
Well, she said it clearly because he's not very emotional. The reason she doesn't tell him stuff is because he's not very emotional. So if you're talking to a brick wall, you're gonna find somebody else to talk to. That doesn't mean you're cheating. You're getting a need met. But it's also a call forth for him to get his to step up, brother.
yeah. And I guess that goes back to what you were saying earlier too, right? It's having friends, having different friends for different purposes. Otherwise, it just sort of puts all the pressure on your partner, and then if and when they can't, not even if, when they can't measure up to those unrealistic expectations, then the relationship starts to fall apart. So yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I guess what you're saying. Oh, we have a good one here. Um, I'm gonna let you tackle this one. I'll read it, but you
Oh,
can tackle this one. It says,
oh,
I,
oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
I am straight, but my gay friend just confess say him have feelings for me. Him no say nothing can go on between we, and me respect that. But from him talk, me start feel kind of awkward for even hug him or make the same joke with him again. Him cool as my friend, me no want lose the link at all. I'm a real G that. And me not homophobic like enough Jamaican people. We quick for burn out everything, but me have to be honest. Things feel kind of weird in my head right now. How me fi move forward without hurt him, or start act funny like me avoid him or treat him different.
It's gonna be awkward. But I feel like it would be even more awkward if you know say that how he feel and you don't and he never say nothing to you. Then you feel like you can't trust the person. But I feel like you just give him a little space to cool off, give him a little space to cool down, and kind of work yourself out. I understand though, because this is you drawing your boundaries, right? You don't feel you feel awkward to hug him, then don't hug him. Bunks the man. I'm sure you're fine with that, right? You don't want to run the same joke with him again. You're gonna find other jokes, and over time, there's gonna be distance between the conversation and the future. You'll be fine. It'll work out. But you don't have to hurt the man. But you gonna feel funny, and that's okay. That's normal. That is normal. I gotta be honest with you. I have this situation where I have a friend that I know is gay who will sometimes give off a vibe. And because they haven't said anything to me, I am more uncomfortable. I wish that they had said something to me instead. Because instead of them saying, I kind of feel a certain way, I could have deal with that straight up. But because I don't have that conversation and that permission to even have that conversation with that person, all I do is back off. So I would say, honor the person, and you in new territory. This is new territory. You're friends with somebody who has confessed that they feel a certain way toward you. If it was a woman that said this to you, you would have found a way to deal with it. So I invite you to, if you value the friendship, you can work it out. You can work it out and still be friends.
Yeah, you're not a villain because somebody caught feelings for you, right?
No, not at all. Not
it,
at
it,
all.
it happens, right? I mean, you don't need to turn into a stone statue around him either. But what you do need is to have a clear but kind boundary, right?
Yeah.
And a check-in. I mean, this kind of difficult for a lot of men,
What
right?
do you mean
But
by a check-in? I'm
no, just
wondering.
like a check-in, like I mean, if okay, I mean, the questioner said that he's not homophobic, but have a check-in with the friend and saying, is staying this close going to hurt you?
Yeah,
Are
yeah,
you
yeah.
or are you okay with things just being how they are? And
That's
then,
a very good
right?
approach. Yeah, yeah.
And then respect his answer. I mean, if he needs a little distance, don't take it as rejection. I mean, it's self-preservation. I mean, that'd be my answer for it.
But I also have to commend you for being so open-minded and valuing the friendship, because there's so many gay people who face outright rejection and complete refusal to be acknowledged as human beings once they actually come out and say those things. So, you know, be a good friend. This is who you clearly are, and figure out what that means for you now. That's all.
Mhm, mhm. All right. How good is your Spanish?
It alright.
Is it all right?
Meh.
All right. I think mine all right too. I think we might be able to handle this one.
You got one in Spanish?
Well, here it is.
Mm.
I
I can't see. Hola, hola. What the top part say? Because it block up.
say, hola, Alfred.
Ujú. Fíjense que tengo una duda. ¿De verdad se puede que un maje y una chava sean solo amigos, así normal, sin que ninguno agarre algo por el otro en algún momento? ¿O siempre hay, aunque sea un poquito, alguien todo ilusionado por dentro haciéndose el loco? Go ahead, you translate that.
You want me to translate it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so hi, Alfred. It's not just Alfred, it's Alfred and Matilda.
That's okay.
I have a question. Is it true that un maje, and
Una
okay,
chava.
that's not very Central American because maje is like guy, like dude. Is it true that a guy and a girl, or I guess a man and a woman, can be just friends, um, without one catching feelings for the other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
At some point. Or
Yeah.
is it always that even if it's just a little, someone is ilusionado por dentro haciéndose el loco. Someone is kind of going crazy on the inside. Is that what he says?
Somebody who starts catching feelings. Somebody who starts
they're catching feelings and it's driving them nuts.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, I guess we kind of talked about it in English. You think you can answer that in Spanish? Or you want me to try?
I think you should try that one.
Okay, I gotta dig deep for this one now. All right. Let's see. Sí, es posible que un hombre y una mujer sean solo amigos, pero no siempre es fácil. Hay varios puntos a tomar en cuenta. So, uno, la atracción no siempre manda. A veces hay cero química romántica o sexual, solo buena onda. Y dos, sentir algo no cancela la amistad, pero la complica. Puede pasar que en algún momento uno se confunda un comentario lindo, un momento vulnerable. Están solteros los dos y alguien se ilusiona un poquito. Lo importante no es si hay chispa, sino qué hacen con ella. Si alguien empieza a sentir más, tiene dos opciones: hablar con honestidad o tomar distancia para acomodar sus emociones. Lo que vuelve tóxica la cosa es el juego. Coqueteo escondido, celos, usar al otro como backup por si la vida falla.
You gotta translate all this in English, by the way, by the time you're done.
Oh, Jesus, I can't.
Pero también necesitan buenos límites en los dos lugares.
Sí. Se puede ser solo amigo, pero requiere límites claros. Nada de somos amigos, pero nos comportamos como novios. No. Respeto, sí, requiere respeto si uno entra en una relación con otra persona, y requiere honestidad con uno mismo. Estoy aquí por la amistad o porque espero que un día pase algo. Right? So,
pero también hay que respetar a su futura pareja. Es algo que necesitan pensar en, porque that's the accountability piece that I can't say in Spanish, right? So can I just take a stab at translating what you just said?
Sure.
So essentially what Alfred was just saying was that yes, you can be friends with somebody of the other sex, but there's a way to take care of this. There's a way to do this, right? And if you don't actually have those feelings, it's important for you to either or you don't want to act on those feelings. It's important for you to either to make one or two choices. Either you confront the issue and you deal with it head on, or you take some distance and work yourselves out. But in both cases, you need to make sure that you have good boundaries, you have good limits and clear communication. And then the piece that I just added toward the end was that it's important for you to really treat them with the respect that you would want their partner of the future to respect you for. Right? Don't be taking advantage of the person and just acting like partners, but not really being partners, because that's not healthy either. Because that's a toxic way of dealing with things.
Well, yes, and as I said, right, what can make it toxic is when you start playing games.
Yeah.
So the hidden flirting, being, jealous and the other as a backup.
Or the undeclared relationship,
Right. That's when things can start to get toxic. And you need to ask yourself that question, are you here for the friendship, or are you here because you're waiting for something to happen someday? Right? So, gracias por la pregunta.
Thank you for the question.
Sí, se puede ser solo amigos. Y sí, muchas veces hay al menos una etapa donde alguien siente algo. La clave es cómo lo manejan para que la amistad no se convierta en una novela dramática. ¿Ok? Aprendemos a manejar la atracción con madurez.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that
So the
answers.
important part is to learn how to manage these things with maturity, right? So, yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
But, this is a really cool topic. I'm glad we covered it. I don't think it's gonna be something that spills over, but I have a feeling it's gonna come up again, right? Because there's a lot of misconception where women think that men behave in a certain way, or men think that women behave in a certain way, and so it informs the view that you have of your relationships as well as what is possible in friendship. And I think as we get older, we start to realize that these rules are not real. They are not real rules, right? So, did I say that? Real rules?
Oh, you said real rules. You said real. You said it right.
I'm so sorry. So there's a real importance for us, like keeping an eye on who we are and conducting ourselves with dignity in ways that we can be proud of later.
Right.
I don't see your picture. I don't see your fancy photo.
My fancy photo?
Yeah.
No, I don't see your fancy photo either, but I kind of like in the little spin of the Real Talk Love and Lies disco, the disco spin.
Yeah, she looking good.
Yeah.
The video that comes on at the beginning always gets my blood pumping and gets me going.
Oh yeah, that one?
Huh?
I said, I need you, that one.
Yeah, the intro.
That
that wakes me up for my evening for me to be able to have a real good conversation, because this is well past this old lady's bedtime.
Hey, if you only know how many people I cuss just trying to make that video.
I can just imagine. I can hear the cuss in the background. I can just imagine. You can see the results though.
I cuss
all that hard work.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, do you have any closing remarks? Any closing message?
I think, yeah, I do have a closing message, and it's one that I think is important, particularly for people who are starting out in relationships, where we are someone said to me the other day, we do more testing and more education on how to drive a car, and people have to pass a test before they're allowed to drive a car. But we don't do the same thing for people that are getting married, right? So we're not really well prepared in how these things work and how they can work and what is possible and how the world can, how things can go. But in the absence of preparation, we all get to learn together, and we all get to educate each other, and we all get to grow off of each other. And so it's really important for us to actually have more people to bounce up against in our lives. Our lives are not meant to be empty. We are social animals. We were meant to live in groups. We were meant to live together in tribes and families. And so I always worry when I see people discouraging friendships in their partners. I think it's important for people to have friends, because those friends are going to be the people that help you pick up the pieces when that partner walks out the door, if it happens. But not only that, those people are going to be the ones that are going to cheer you on when you come together as a couple and do beautiful things as a couple. Those are going to be the people that come to the birthday parties of your children. Those are going to be the people that are, that are going to be at your retirement party. Those are going to be people that are, your life has to be populated. You don't want your funeral to just be your exes. You don't want that to be the only people that actually know who you were. That doesn't work out. We're meant to live as in groups. And so I encourage everybody to actually go out there and do the things that you love. And when you go do the things that you love, you're going to find people like you. So, go and play rugby, or, go sailing, or, go fishing, go and meet the people that do the things that you love. And those are going to be the people that are friends for you. And some of them are going to be of the opposite sex. And it's kind of important to have that diversity too, because you see a lot of toxic things show up in women and in men when the only people that they relate to are people of their own gender and
Yeah.
their own sex. You see like the echo chamber. Um, you see the echo chamber. Okay, interesting. I know a lot of people don't find you attractive. However, you shouldn't give up because of that. You are worth it. I find you attractive. Is that you, Alfred? That this Gloria Pouche Fonte. This looks like spam. This is very Spanish.
Don't find you. However, you shouldn't give up before that I find you attractive. That's too funny.
That is hilarious. That is such garbage. Spam.
That is too
Because
funny.
Alfred is very attractive. I don't know what you're talking about. Right?
Oh, you find me attractive?
Oh, bless you.
I'm one of those opposite sex friends now. Yeah.
I think you are. I think you are. And I think you've been accepted. You've been accepted by the whole crew, so you're good.
Okay, I hear you. All right, good. Well,
Those are my final remarks.
pardon?
Those are my final remarks. You got anything to say?
Yeah. Well, tonight, folks, we asked the question: can men and women really be just friends? And I think what came out of this is that yes, it can work, but not because we're all pure and holy. It works when there's honesty, when there's boundaries, and when there's no secret backup plan business running in the background. So, and the same goes for those mixed orientation friendships, the gay straight or the bi straight. Attraction might pop up, but it's what you do with it that decides if it stays healthy or turns into a slow, silent heartbreak. So, if you remember nothing else, remember this: friendship plus confusion equals drama, and friendship plus clarity equals peace. So, thank you to everyone who messaged, called, or just listened quietly from your car or your bed scrolling WhatsApp. If we didn't get to your question tonight, still send it in. We might use it in a future episode. Names always kept anonymous. So, same time, same place next show.
Yep,
Friday.
sounds good.
This has been Real Talk, Love and Lies, where we don't judge your situation. We just help you make a little more sense of it. So good night, Cayman. Good night, world. Be safe, love smart, and don't lead nobody on just for vibes. Night, Tilda.
Night, night.